Hello, Booktube. I am back. I'm back home. Never mind, back on Booktube. I've been away down south for work. Thank God I'm back. It's going on holiday is fine and dandy-o, but when you go for work, you're like, oh, I want to come back home. This sucks. This sucks. So I came back a couple of days ago, and what's that? Oh, sorry, I could hear like little scuffling noises down here. I was like, oh no, it's a mouse, but it's not. It's the crickets for the tarantulas I've got down there. I forgot I had them because I used to have them downstairs in the little what's the under the stairs room called? I can't remember. The under the stairs room. I used to have them down there, but I brought them up here. Oh, little tarantulas. And what was I talking about? Yeah, so I've been away for work and now I am back. And I'm doing a bit of gardening, to be honest, as well, because I've not been in the right mindset to make a video recording myself because it's a bit weird. So I've been gardening quite a lot for the past couple of days, and I've bought myself a new fruit tree. In my back I've got apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, I've got olive trees, gooseberries, I've got all sorts out there, but I didn't have a fig tree. Oh, I love me some figs. So I splashed out on a big tree, a big fig tree. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I'm going to have to dig a big hole somewhere in the garden and put it, but I love figs. Whoa. Top tier of the fruit for me, figs. I absolutely adore them. So as I was saying, I've been away from home, but I've had an all right reading month, but I've not been able to do what I really wanted to do this month because I had to pick a book what was available at me at the time, or I just couldn't be bothered, so I just clicked on sitting. I'll buy that on my Kindle because I wanted to read a lot of trash last month for Garb August. I got a few bits and pieces in there, well, 3 of the same series, and for Garb August, so I'm going to count that. And I also wanted to start some of the Booker books. When you're just not in the mood, you want something more like a non-fiction for me, something that's more for you than picking up a Booker, which is going to be, I hate these books. To be fair, with the Booker list, it's quite 50-50 for me at the moment. Some of them I've really liked, like Demon Copperhead, and I've liked the Hilary Mantel. I think down there you can see the Hilary Mantel trilogy, the Wall 4 trilogy. Like those books, but some of them are garbage. They are crap on the Booker, like Treacle Walker. Do you know the books are classified as experimental and they break you? What is this book trying to say to me? I don't know. Go back to Bill Bryson. Hence, what I've read this month. I read, doing a quick scan on my burner phone, 16 books, or whatever it is. I can't be bothered counting them. I was close enough. So, this is going to be a video of what I read in August, if you didn't get that by now. So, what I usually start with is a book I've already read. I get a reread. And this is continuing my kick with the Bill Brysons. This is One Summer, American 1927. This is one of my... Oh, I've lost my balance. This is One Summer. Yeah, this is looking at America just in a couple of months in 1927. And it's one of my favourite Bill Brysons. It is fantastic. It's full of that quick Bill Bryson humour. He's talking about the first kind of aviation flies from America to Europe. He talks a lot about Babe Ruth and baseball, a lot about the Al Capone and brain fart. What was the thing where the Americans banned drinking alcohol? Oh, what was it called? Not conscription. Oh, I've brain farted. I've brain farted. It's right there. Oh, I can't remember. I can't pause for that long. Somebody will mention it down below. Oh, Alex, it was, when the Americans barred alcohol, it was called this and that. He talks about that along with, the politics of the day, who was the president of the US and all that. And he also talks about how everything was on the up and up, and then came the stock market crash. So it was all like hope and glory in the couple of months that he talks about in 1927. And it is classic Bill Bryson. This is top tier Bill Bryson for me. This is easily top 5 books, maybe top 3, who knows. So that is my reread, and I suggest for you Bill Bryson or comic non-fiction readers, read One Summer. It is a bit of a chunker. I think I've actually got it on paperback somewhere. I think I talked about it last time, didn't I, when I was doing a bookshop tour? And now I can't. There it is. One Summer. Very, very nice. I like that cover. It's great. Bit of a chunker, but it's classic Bill Bryson. Everyone should read it. Okay. So that's one book. Count with me, folks. The next 4 I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to separate it. I'm just going to talk about the whole lot of it, because I was surprised how much I actually like these books. So this is the Thursday Murder Cup mystery quadrilogy at the moment. I think there's a 5th one coming out. So the first one is the Thursday Murder Club, The Man Who Died Twice. The 3rd one is The Bullet That Missed. And then the last one is The Last Devil to Die. And as I said, by Richard Osman. Now these are all your mystery books in the same vein as a kind of updated Agatha Christie. I really, really, really enjoyed these novels. So it's kind of like set in like a retirement complex, and it's just the Thursday Murder Club. So it's like for old people who are working out murders or diamond robberies or where's the drugs, and it's all about for me it's all about the relationship between the 2 female leads. Elizabeth, she's like an ex-CIA agent, and Joyce, who's just like everyone's nan, basically. And it is really enjoyable, quick read. It's not thinky. I don't think I guessed who the actual killer was in any of these books, and it is fantastic. And there's a little it's not just a mystery, it also talks about about getting old, and somehow old people sometimes get sidelined, and I've still got some time left, kind of deal. I've still got worth, especially about the 4th book, when one of the main characters, Elizabeth, I think it is, her husband has got on brain fart, and again, not amnesia. What am I thinking of? Alzheimer's. He's got Alzheimer's, and there's this whole assisted suicide kind of conversation throughout the whole book. And if you're into mystery novels, pick up these 4, because they are really, really good, really, really enjoyable. Chef's kiss novels, and that's the Thursday Murder Mystery Club by Richard Osman. So that's 5 books now. Count with me, folks. I've done that one. Oh, this is one I picked from my buddy read I do every month with my brother, and I picked a biography about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, A Life by Matthew Polly. This is great. I absolutely loved this biography. It's really, really juicy. A lot of things you don't know about Bruce Lee, like when people talk about people who start up like dojos and stuff like that, they kind of talk about how respectful and how reserved people are who usually do that. Bruce Lee wasn't. He was a bully from the start, and he's arrogant and a bit egotistical. But this is an excellent biography of like the most well-known martial artist, surely. I don't think Jackie Chan surpassed Bruce Lee, but yeah, I mean, as a kid, I used to love all those early 70s, or just 70s kung fu, the campy stuff, fantastic. And this, you can tell, what's his name, Matthew Polly, he's got like a love of kung fu stuff, and especially Bruce Lee, and it's a read this biography. If you're interested in just biographies, just read it, because it is well done. It's not overly big. I think it's about 400 to 500 pages. It's in that area, but it is an immensely rich and well written biography about one of the most famous martial artist ever in the world. And also talks about how Bruce Lee died towards the end, all the conspiracies, like the five-fingered heart punch, whatever it is. It's all nonsense. He died probably because he had heat stroke, because he got his sweat glands removed, didn't he? So he couldn't cool down. So that is 6. I told you I had a really good reading month last month. It doesn't matter, how much work I had to do. I had quite a lot. I'm kind of waffling here because I've closed my notes down. Here we go. So this can go in the garbage books, the Garb August that I wanted to do. And if you watched any of these before, you probably saw me mention this series again. Skip ahead if you're not into the nerd stuff and Star Wars. This is a new Jedi Order. These are books 16, 17, 14, 15 and 16. I think it's 14, 15 and 16, but it could be 15, 16 and 17. I think it is that. And it's the books that are titled Force Heretic 1, 2 and 3 by Sean Williams and Shane Dix. I think I've said before that I'm going to do like a complete overview when I eventually finish this series, which should be this month. There's 19 books in total, and at best this is a meh to, oh god, I like the way what they did there, and at worst it's horrible writing. And the last book is, the last 3 books are like, oh, this is terrible, this. Just get to the end already. Get to the end. I can't take any more. The only thing what I did like about this, and again, this is about the alliance between the old rebels and the old empire getting together now to fight back against the species that are Yuzon Vong that are invading the galaxy far, far away. And it's getting towards that part now where they're pushing back, and the Yuzon Vong are like, oh no, we might get beat here. And it's also talking about how there's like the Yuzon Vong, some of them have they've been expelled from the society basically for being weak, and now they've got like a leader, and they're actually praising the Jedi. And you can see where this is going now, where it's all going to get lovey-dovey towards the end, and let's live together in harmony and skip through all the planets that we destroyed. But yeah, the new Jedi Order series hasn't been great in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who love the new Jedi Order series, but what I need to say to them is, if you read it as a young person or teenage years, read it again as an adult. Because there's a lot of get to the end, please. Stop all this like pseudo philosophy. It's terrible. So yeah, that's going to go very firmly in my garbage pile for last month. 3 in the garbage pile. I think they're fairly well for Garb August there. And yeah, so that's the continuation of the new Jedi Order books. I've got 2 more to go this month. Yes, and then it's done. And I'll probably come out with a video later on about the new Jedi Order series in hindsight. Like me, I've closed my notes down again. So what are we on now? So Bill Bryson, the Murder Mystery Corps, that's 5. Bruce Lee was 6. The Force Heretic books are 9. So the next 2, I think the rest of these are actually all non-fiction, and they're all pretty decent starting to sound like Sean Connery on it. These are decent books, these. So I read, I can't do that because I can't usually do accents or like voices, but I think that was a fairly decent Sean Connery there. The next two are two books by Max Hastings. Max Hastings being a very good military history author. He very, very concise, very, very punchy, expertly wrote, well researched. He knows his stuff, Max Hastings. And the two books I read from him last month was All Hell Broke Loose, The World at War. So that's looking at World War II, which I believe was previously 2 editions, which he basically wrapped up into one. And also Nemesis, The Battle for Japan, which is again World War II. Now these are 2 excellent works of history. He's a superb writer. Again, with All Hell Broke Loose, this is a very good starter for those of you who want to get into World War II. It's looking at, the politics of the day. It's looking how Europe went to war, the battles within Europe, in the North America, in the Middle East, and then how the Far East got involved, and then how the Americans got involved, and then the eventual collapse of the Axis powers. This, fantastic. If you want to get a beginner book on World War II, that's easily in the top 3. Read it. And the other one, the Nemesis, The Battle for Japan, is for those of you who've read a couple of starter books, or just one starter book, to be honest with you, hang on. I know, a lot of school work was based on, the war in Europe, right? Which also was heavily the war in Europe back in the day when I was in school. But I don't know much about the battle in the Pacific. I guess those of you who are American, that was more your involvement of when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. But yeah, this is the nemesis of blow by blow of Ireland fighting. How it wasn't really like the war in Europe; it was more guerrilla tactics, and it explains a lot of how McCarthy was got a lone gun and a propaganda machine that he was. But yeah, this is that talks obviously about the warheads that was dropped on Japan too. Fantastic work of history. Pick them up if it's up your street, which should be, because they are really good works of history. Oh, here we go. This is another biography. So hang on, that's 9 books before it's Heretic, wasn't it? Nemesis and All Hell Broke Loose. That's 11 books. So this is the 12th book. This is A Certain Idea of France. This is by Julian Jackson, and this is a biography of Charles de Gaulle. Now, you don't know who Charles de Gaulle was. He was the French fella who later became the president of France. He led the Free French people when France was conquered by the Nazis. Now that I'm reading these out, I did a lot of reading around the Second World War. I mean, there's another one coming up soon as well. I don't know why that was, but yeah, this again, fantastic biography of Charles de Gaulle. Presents him in all his pros and cons. Fantastically researched, well written. This is a lot chunkier than the Bruce Lee biography. There's a lot more to it, obviousbecause he was a bigger person in history than Bruce Lee was. But yeah, if you want to learn about one of history's wild card presidents, go read about Charles de Gaulle. He's very much a man of France, and that noise down there is driving me to distraction. Now, up down there, I think there's about 60 crickets, something like that, and they're all trying to escape the tank. I hope none of them are like Steve McQueen. Oh, bless them. I feed them alive to the tarantulas, so I've got to get them a little wee way. Anyway, yeah, so this Charles de Gaulle biography, fantastic. Read it if you're interested in the Second World War. era, and how Charles de Gaulle, with at the start, the help of the British, finally became the leader of the Free French people, because he was seldom known before France fell to the Nazis, until he became this political powerhouse in France, and was continual barb to the British and the Americans after the Second World War, because basically, if him in his head, if you thought you slighted him, you slighted France. You slighted France, basically. And yeah, pick this up if you're interested in world leaders. Certainly was a really, really good biography, although really, really long. So, okay. The next one is A Waiter in Paris by Edward Chris Home. So this is about I can't remember if he just graduated from a university in London, or whether he was looking for a job in London. I think he was looking for a job in London, and then he moved over to Paris with his girlfriend, and he was struggling to find work, and then he eventually broke up with his girl, and was like, I need something, a job, so I can basically live, because he did want to return back to the UK. So he became a waiter in Paris, even though not really knowing French, which he thought would be handy. But so this is all about his experience right at the start, of how he was mistreated by management and the other waiters, who treated him as a bit of a joke, and then him finding his feet, knowing a little bit of French, and making friends, and then moving on to different restaurants, and how it's discussing about the whole economy as well, that in being a waiter, tips are king. And I like this. I think it is a good, interesting book. I mean, it's only 200 to 300 pages. There's a certain kind of poverty safari kind of going on here. He's a middle class guy from the UK who is going to Paris for a wee while to experience the other side. That's why sometimes it feels like he's going on a poverty safari. The people that he was working with are actually, this is all they have. What you have, buddy, is a well-off family back home. So there's a little bit of that in this, but at the end he kind of because I think he sees one of his friends from university, and he gets really ashamed and tries to hide from him, and he kind of realised that, even though I've managed to do it, I'm still quite embarrassed for doing it. And what he really wanted to do is become an author, which he succeeded in. So it's a good book, although it can be slightly irritating. But if you're kind of interested in that kind of going to find yourself kind of books, pick up A Waiter in Paris. Carrying on the World War II. So what was that, book 12 there? I've lost count. So the next one is Churchill's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That was hard to say. By Giles Milton. Now, this is discussing, again, World War II. It's discussing about what we did sneakily to the Nazis when France fell. So it's talking about blowing up power stations. It's talking about assassinations. It's disappearing people. So it's talking about the stuff that our government wouldn't discuss or anything like that. And it's discussing about the people who also trained to do it as well, and giving a little bit of their life history. I really enjoyed this book. I kind of like all that sneaky stuff, pardon me. But yeah, this is an excellent book about sneaky spies and people who create bombs to explode tanks and all that kind of good stuff. That it's usually good James Bond sneaky spy stuff. pick it up if that sounds like it's up your street. You know, I'm not interested in the battles of World War II anymore. You know, I want something different. This is certainly different of, you know, the meaner side of war, of countries, you know, backstabbing each other and trying to do as much damage as they possibly can with not much loss of life. And the last one, because I'm starting to lose my voice, is No Time Like the Future by Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox, the actor. So this is a very slim memoir of, I think it's a couple of years leading up to the pandemic. It discusses his life. It doesn't really discuss Hollywood that much. It just more discusses, you know, of how he dealt with his Parkinson's diagnosis and then coping with his diagnosis, and I think he got also a tumour on his spine, and how he coped with walking, how he dealt with his friends and family, and how he found work after his diagnosis as well. This is a fairly well done memoir. I did enjoy it, and I kind of do like Michael J. Fox, big fan of Back to the Future. So if you're interested in Michael J. Fox, pick up this book, because it is fairly well done, and he's brutally honest with himself and the person who is reading it. So yeah, how many books I read last month, I don't know. Was that 15? Was that 16? I have no idea. It was a fairly decent reading month, apart from those Star Wars books, and I'm a Star Wars fan. But yeah, so I will be back at one point. Work is starting to dial it down a little bit, so hopefully I'll be able to put more videos out there in the future. You know, you got to feed that YouTube algorithm, haven't you? So I'll see you soon. Bye, Booktube.